Here we go then. We're talking about Trump. This afternoon, he has nuked the United Nations, made them look like the complete and utter globalist brats that they are. He slammed them on borders. He slammed them on terror. He slagged off green energy. It was music to my heart. It was everything you dreamt of. But where was our leader, our glorious, our supreme leader, Starmer? Nowhere to be seen. He didn't bother going to the UN. You've got to ask the question, why? And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're also going to talk about that piece of Ethiopian scum who sexually assaulted the 14-year-old girl at the Bell Hotel in Epping. So if you've got views on that, I'll take that as well. He's got a 12-month sentence. He will get deported. I say he should get deported now, but I want your opinion. But the big story today has got to be Donald Trump. After all that nonsense last night about aspirins and the rest of it, paracetamols, we'll talk about that another day. I know a lot about that. But today, I just want to talk about Trump to start with, and then the Ethiopian. Get your comments in now. Feel free. Thanks for all your comments yesterday and for all your donations. This is the Jon Gaunt Show. So Trump just nuked the UN, the United Nations, with a 1-hour speech that was only meant to be 10 minutes long, evidently, but it left world leaders reeling. It's also left the BBC reeling. I've just watched their 6 o'clock news. They're desperate to slag off Trump and say everything he said was a lie. But I tell you what he said will chime with you once you read it. I'll see it. He called Europe out over terrorism. He slammed green energy and said it was chaos. It was leading us to bankruptcy. He demanded proper border control. He said, without border control, you're not a country. And he even reignited his feud with London's Mayor Sadiq Khan. It was brilliant. Wait to hear what he said about him. But the big question of the day, and if you can tell me where he was, that's great. Where was Wally? Yeah, where was Keir Starmer? He was missing in action, or missing in no action again. Tonight, I'm going to break down Trump's explosive attack, not just on the United Nations, but on the Western countries and Europe particularly. And I'm asking you, which vision, what kind of leadership do you want for our future? Trump's fire, sometimes a bit mad, but right on the subjects that we worry about? Or do you want Starmer dithering and his silence and the fact that at the moment, and don't forget I've been saying this, he's been hiding in his bunker. Now listen, this one is gonna get heated, I'm telling you. So if you want to join in now, write your comments up and I'll come to them as soon as I can. Did you see the speech? Have you seen the highlights? What do you think about Trump? But also, I'm taking your views on that Ethiopian would-be rapist. He's got a 12-month sentence. He'll be out in 4.5 months, because that's how it is in soft-touch Labour. And he'll be back on the streets. I say he should be deported, but I would deport him now. We don't want to pay for him to be in prison, do we? Let's have your views on that. But good evening. It is the Jon Gaunt podcast. Welcome to the show. Wow, that's all I can say. Trump has just nuked the United States. United Nations, sorry. That'd be good if it was the States. It was a 1-hour speech. It was pure political dynamite. He talked about borders. He talked about terrorism. He talked about Muslims. He talked about Sharia law. He basically said that London now wants Sharia law. Very controversial. He talked about the whole rush towards green energy. And he talked about Europe being under fire. But here's the question. As he was unleashing hell on the UN, just where was our supreme leader? Where was our prime minister? He wasn't in the room. He wasn't even in effing New York. Silent. Missing in action again. Right. Let me give you the highlights in case you haven't seen it yet. Trump said to the UN, he just stood up and he said, what is your purpose? It was brilliant. He accused Europe as lot of rewarding terrorism because of this latest thing about Israel and Hamas. He slammed uncontrolled immigration and said that green energy is wrecking Europe's future. Here's a few juicy quotes. He says, every sovereign nation must have the right to control its borders. Well, do you agree with that or disagree? Of course, the EU didn't want us to have borders, did they? He even reignited his feud with London's mayor, saying, look at London, terrible mayor. This is a direct quote. And they want Sharia law. Oh, my God. This was vintage Trump. Bold, blunt, and completely unapologetic. He was boasting as well of the 7 wars that he's cured. But undoubtedly, I think he's a breath of fresh air. I think it's exactly what Britain needs as well. Are you with me or against me? Let's have your comments. Get them in as soon as you can, because this is going to be one hell of a busy show. I know that for a fact. Right. Starmer. While Trump was throwing political grenades, Starmer's big contribution was a new press release saying that on Friday, he's going to talk about unity and the flag again. Oh, yeah. So, and here's the quote from Starmer. Let's choose unity over grievance, progress over division. Britain's best days are ahead. Well, really? Well, I agree with that if we get rid of you, because the trending thing on Twitter at the moment is Starmer out. Starmer out, says I. He's finished, isn't he? That's all he said. He has no response to Trump, no leadership when it comes to immigration. He just wants to let everybody in. Look at the way this sexual assault guy from Eritrea or Ethiopia is going to be treated. It's not just Starmer's fault, this is the sentencing guidelines. The longest he could get given by a magistrate, which is who he's up in front of today, is 12 months. 12 months. Compare and contrast that with Lucy Connolly. Lucy Connolly, 31 months for some nasty words, which she took down within 2 hours on Facebook and on Twitter. 2-tier Keir has got 2-tier justice. And the latest is that a guy who wanted, come back to my hotel, you and this other woman with you will make Jamaican babies. She says, no, I'm only 14. She was in a bloody school uniform. His excuse today in court, his mitigating factor was, I didn't know Britain took rape and sexual assault so seriously. Well, he said that through an interpreter. We even paid for that as well. I say deport the bastard now. Agree with me or not? So now imagine if that was in America. That's why I'm asking this question. Would you prefer Trump's firebrand leadership that says it like it is, or Starmer's silence and slogans whilst Britain burns? Get on the chat now. Tell me, press the like button. Whose vision do you want for Britain and indeed the Western world? Again, he said this today. The Western world is under attack. He said, you've got to secure your borders. You mustn't give in. Now, this is your show, your voice. And tonight, we're going to have it out, let me tell you. Let's have your questions. Trump told the UN, your countries are going to hell. That's in a direct quote. Do you agree with him? Do you think Britain is going to hell? I do. Is he right that Europe's immigration policies have completely failed? Yes. Did you see the riots in Milan last night at that beautiful train station? Trump says green energy is destroying Europe. That's another quote. Is that correct? Or is he fear-mongering? And let's talk about Starmer. The invisible man. Was Starmer wrong to skip this vital UN speech, or was it the right decision? The BBC basically slagged Trump off completely. BBC Verify was there to say, no, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. Well, let's have a look and see what Joe Biden's done, shall we? Does Starmer, in your mind, have a vision for Britain? Or is he just hiding in his bunker, avoiding difficult questions about Lord Mandelson and all the other hot topics that are hitting the fan? Why isn't he out and about today to talk about this piece of scum who wanted to rape a 14-year-old? What about the guilt that's on his conscience? He's let these people in their flip-flops, and not all of them, of course, but some of them have committed sexual offences. There's another trial happening at the moment in London. There's one about to continue in Nuneaton. Down to you, Starmer, and the previous government. We don't want them in hotels. And when we protested outside the hotels, you tried to call those women, those mums, those daughters, those sisters far right. So my question is, do we need bold, outspoken leaders like Trump? Is that the way to deal with these threats we've got at the moment? Or do you prefer the calm, quiet bullshit that somebody like Starmer comes out with? Sorry, I'm biased on this. Is politics today too polite, or is it getting too aggressive? I think that what's happened, and it's been proven by the BBC tonight, their immediate reaction was to slag off Trump. So it's Trump versus the establishment. Is Donald Trump speaking uncomfortable truths, or is he being a bit reckless? He says Sharia law is coming to London. Sadiq Khan says, I'm not even going to answer that. It's beneath contempt. Oh, really, Sadiq? Britain's borders. Should we follow Trump's lead on total immigration control, drones, the military, put them on the beach at Dover, put them in the channel, send back everyone before their flip-flop hits the sand? What do you think? What about green energy? Is it the future, or is it something so expensive and a failure that we can't afford at the moment? And Starmer's silence, why is he so quiet at the moment? Is that making it worse? And then what about the United Nations? I've always said they're about as much use as a chocolate fireguard. They don't solve anything. They just like meetings, which is why David Lamb is gone, because he heard they've got brand new Jaffa cakes in. I'm joking, but you know where I'm coming from. So I need your views on all of this tonight, please. Feel free, put your comments there. I'm going to them now. Also, talk to me about this Ethiopian who tried to make babies with a 14-year-old girl. His name is Hadush Kabutu. He's 41. He put his hand on the teen's thigh, tried to kiss her, and told her he wanted to marry her while she was wearing a school uniform. Today, he's got 12 months. He can't even speak bloody English. He's from Ethiopia. He reckons he previously worked as a teacher. He carried out the attacks. This is the bit where Keir Starmer, and whoever let this monster in, it'll be Starmer. He carried out this attack just 8 days after arriving at Dover on a small boat. Chelmsford Magistrates Court heard today that he tried to take his own life in custody, didums, and said he wanted to be deported immediately. Well, maybe we can grant him that. He showed no remorse at all, according to the judge, Christopher Williams. And Kabutu just sat there, whilst they went through what he did. He had an interpreter because he can't speak English. He's the man who sparked the protests at the Bell Hotel in Epping that then spread across the country. And of course, Starmer thought was just far right until he realised, I can't stop this flag business. So now he pretends he's wrapping himself in our flags. He tried to sexually assault a 14-year-old girl. He incited her to engage in sexual activity. He wanted to have babies with her. Babies. He did not know the UK was so strict, but he did know the age of consent was 18 in Ethiopia. He's a piece of scum, and I say deport him immediately. What's your view? It's the Jon Gaunt Show. Welcome. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks for hitting that like button. 27 likes already. Share the stream. Email your mates. Text them now and say Gaunt is on fire tonight. This is one hell of a big show, and I want your views now. Right, let's go. What's that? Private Josie says, wish we had Trump for RPM. So do I. Can't argue with you. Cannot argue with you. Hey, Gaunty, says McVeigh 2K. Don't you want to say anything? Otherwise, it's a bit pointless. Starmer is a terrorist, a traitor, a Soviet spy. No, he's not most of those things. So try and keep it sensible if you can. Hi, John, says Crag. John, Trump is an awesome president. He is. And do you know why? Because he's putting his people first. And he didn't give a shit about the UN and all their policies. He just went in there, gave them both barrels. He was the equalizer. He was Clint Eastwood. But I think he spoke truth to these leaders. What a pity Starmer wasn't there. Does anybody know where Starmer was? I've been asking this all afternoon. No one's given me an answer. Susan Scholes says yes. Thank you. Talk of that guy getting deported and £3,000. Surely not. What's the 3,000? He's not getting £3,000. What are you on about? Come back to me on that, Craig, because I don't understand it. Maggie Young, when Trump said Khan wanted Sharia law in London, well, we need urgent help. And of course, the BBC have put that down. He didn't mean it necessarily in a literal sense, but we have got Sharia law courts in this country already, just like we got halal, like we were talking about yesterday. Not in our country and not without us being told or asked. I know the Jews have got their own courts as well, some Jewish communities. I don't agree with it. Listen to me. One law for all. Are you with me or against me? Stuart Lowe, good evening from the Bolton area, and put a thumbs up. Thank you for that, my friend. Sue Tonks says, John, I agree with you totally. She's on Facebook. Thank you very much indeed for that. Could Starmer be at Chequers? Well, you don't spell it like that, Craig. But why would he be at Chequers? He should have been in New York. Fat Boy Lammy's gone. Yvette Cooper's there, who's about as much use as the chocolate fire guard, isn't she? She gave a big speech this morning. It's like, oh, shut up. Shut up. You're embarrassing yourself. And more importantly, you're embarrassing our great country. Who listens to him anymore? The man is an idiot on Facebook. That's Annette Locke, I presume. She's talking about Starmer. What's your view? Come on, we're raging. We're going mad on this one. Curse 10. I've not had a chance to hear Trump's speech yet, but your summary sounds very refreshing. Well, basically, it was a tick list of everything that we want and we've been talking about. Green policies, too fast, too soon, not the right idea. Let's get fracking. He even talked about drill, baby, drill. He talked about securing the borders. He said a country without borders isn't a country. He talked about every country being a sovereign state, not being part of some big conglomerate like the EU. He must have hit a nerve. It was the second story on the BBC, and you could hear their bum cheeks clanging from here. And that woman, Sarah Smith, who I don't mind, actually, but she's John Smith's daughter, isn't she? The ex-Labour, should have been the PM, but he died. But, you know, she got accused the other day of bias when she called Charlie Kirk. She said he was far right at his funeral. Cheeky bitch, right? So she's already been slated for that. But today, she hates Trump. When she talks about Trump, just like Emily Maitlis, right? There's a sneer there. I worked with Emily Maitlis for about 6-7 years at BBC London. She's not a bad lass. She wasn't in those days. Not a bad lass, but she knew nothing about the world. Now she sits with that arsehole, John Sopel, and that little one who hasn't started shaving yet, Douglas, somebody, I can't remember his name. And they talk as if they're great sages. They understand the world, you know. They're just lefties. Yeah, they make me sick. And they get so much media attention. So Annette Locke says she's with me. Thank you. Suzanne Lopez says we're definitely someone like Trump. Starmer's time is surely coming to an end. Nobody wants him or his cronies leading our country. He's still there. He's clinging on like a limpet at Padstow Harbour, let me tell you. Right, I just want to say a big thank you. I made a list here, so let me just check on my phone. I want to say a big thank you to Niven Casey, Chris Hogg, Bill Milne, Pam Millett, Mark Peaty, Gary Munnery, Colin Rowell, David Marks, They've all been buying coffees and beers. In fact, one of them bought 5. Put 25 quid into the hat after yesterday's show. I've got to say a big thank you to you all, whether it's £5, £2, 25 quid. One bloke gave me 300 quid. Thank you very much, David. Whatever you can afford, it's going to make these podcasts carry on. It's also going to make them develop. So please let me have a donation off you. You can also do it now on YouTube. You just click the $, which is underneath the picture there on the screen. Click on there and donate whatever you want. We're not funded. We need independent broadcasting more than ever. Colleen Jory just says definitely Trump if she had to make the choice. Basically Trump, says Nid H. Kathleen Hodge says send them back. You're talking about this Ethiopian guy. It's incredible, isn't it? He tries to rape her. He sexually assaults her. That's what it's called. He also tries it on with another woman, an older woman who was there, right? 20-something, I think she was. And he's got today a year. And you think, well, maybe a year, okay. But wait till I tell you a year, because of Labour, because they're letting out all the people because the prisons are full, he won't do more than 4.5 months. He's probably already been on remand for a month, so he'll be out in 3 months. That's a rough calculation. Is that justice? If you read the articles on this girl today, she's saying, I can't go out at night. I'm always looking over my shoulder, blah, blah, blah. Can you imagine? He's completely wrecked her life and her parents' life. And he's going to get 12 months. Then he's going to get sent back to Ethiopia. He's not even going to do 12 months. He's going to do about 4. I'd cut his... Well, you know what I'd do. But anyway, I say deport him now. Are you with me or against me on that? So there's that issue going. I'm taking views on that. But there's also the big issue of Trump versus Starmer. And this weekend, as I say, Friday, Starmer's going to talk about the flag and let's all unite around the flag and let's all sing Kumbaya. He'll probably be saying, let's not look back in anger at these people who want to kill us, rape our daughters. And meanwhile, the small boats will keep coming. This guy in court today can't even speak English, can't understand English. Why are we allowing this to happen? Simple. Do what Trump says. Tell them if you come to my country and you haven't been invited, you're getting sent to prison or you're getting deported to some far away place to be processed. Why are we so weak? Well, we're not. The public aren't weak, are they? It's our leaders. It's Starmer. And it was Rishi and all the rest of them. And Boris, who let everybody in. Maggie Young, go to the 87 at Sharia anyway. They're allowed to swim with the blinds down. Women in burqas swimming. I objected to that years ago, Maggie. Maggie, when she says about 87, it's a fitness centre and swimming pool. I think it was set up by Dave Moorcroft, the Olympic runner, and in Coventry. It used to be near Sainsbury's, but they've closed the Sainsbury's down. I've heard of other examples of that. Because of modesty, Muslim women want to swim with the burqa on. Well, I'd just say, well, go and swim in Afghanistan then. It's just ludicrous. Some of these things that we've allowed to happen. And it's a creep, isn't it? Fit in or ship out. You can keep your religion, but fit in or ship out. So imagine Trump. He wouldn't allow that crap, would he? Woke nonsense. Let's move on. Dark Angel. Hello, Dark Angel. Trump was brilliant. He just tells the truth. That violence in Italy was terrible too. Well, that was all your lefties, wasn't it? Protesting about climate change or something. I see he sent Cooper in his place. Yeah, Yvette Cooper's there, but it's not. But it gets worse, Dark Angel. It's Yvette Cooper and Lammy. Lammy's gone for the Jaffa cakes, I think, because he's no longer the foreign secretary. She is. But she made this speech today about Palestine. Oh, she was all pumped up. She had new blue glasses. She looked like a twat, right? And a blue jacket to match it. And she said, you know, today we're celebrating and commemorating the United Kingdom recognizing the state of Palestine. If you said to her, where is Palestine then? Define its geographical area. She wouldn't be able to do it. These people make me sick. It's not what we want. We don't want to recognize Palestine. And that's the other thing. Trump in his speech said, why are these Europeans? And he was talking about Starmer. Maybe that's why Starmer wasn't there. He was scared he was going to get his arse smacked, metaphorically speaking. But anyway, he wasn't there. But Trump basically said, you can't say we'll recognise you without first getting the hostages back. He then said every single one of them, and also the bodies of the ones who have been murdered. He's correct, isn't he? But not in Starmer's world. Starmer thinks probably Hamas are lovely and cozy. They're just a bit misguided. Where was he? Where's Wally? Annette Locke says he's a coward not to go. I've got to agree with you on Facebook. Or maybe there's another reason. It can't be that he's ill or he's got a family member ill, because they would have said that. There's just been no mention of Starmer today. He went into hiding after Mandelson. He didn't even go to the Commons to ask questions. He sent some underling. This is an affront to democracy. This is an insult to all of us. And now he's made advance notice with one of his declarations. It isn't a video, thank God, but it's basically a picture of him. And you probably see it if you look on social media. And he's basically saying, let's have a conversation about Britain, about what Britain is, what Britain can be, and how it's going to be so much better. Well, it's only going to be so much better if we get rid of you div. But this idea that he's still in control, he's got the lowest ratings ever. He's delusional. Somebody should take him home now before he gets put in a home or an institution. Paul Rowbottom, give me Faber and Trump over never hear Keir any day. Well, he is here today because he hasn't gone to New York. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And he wants to be our leader. Craig says, I don't know if you heard about a dingy drive in a hotel. Can you stop giving... Have you heard about this? Have you heard about... No, I'm not interested. I'm sorry, Craig, but, you just keep on the agenda, will you? James R.C. Irvin over in America. The UK needs to get Starmer out immediately. Where are your troops to pluck out these illegals that have no papers and no rights? Get them the hell out of the UK. The UK is full. Well, you're not going to get an argument with me about that. UK Starmer, Miliband, lying, scamming, fake BR bastards, imbeciles. It's interesting you say that, because one of the quotes from Trump today was, he said about green energy, it's all a con trick. It's all a con. They're just taking money. Now, I am pretty green. I do believe we've got to think about the planet and we've got to think about the future. But I also think, I think a lot of people like this, I'm conflicted. Because I also think, well, if we got all that coal and we got all this fracking ability and we got North Sea oil, he actually mentioned North Sea oil. That's another thing that he was brilliant today. He didn't actually name Starmer once, but it was obvious who he was talking about. It's just madness, isn't it? We've got this. Let's have that first. Let's power our recovery. We're on the verge of going bankrupt as a country. We ain't got time to indulge in Greta Thunberg politics. We just haven't. Just like we haven't got time to let in thousands of blokes of fighting age, right, which they all are, the majority of them are men, and wearing flip-flops. We haven't got the time or the energy or the ability to fight them if it turns. And we don't know who they are. As I keep saying, Keir Starmer, any day of the week you want to go to Dover, we'll pick a random boat. You tell me how many of them can speak English. Tell me how many of them you know. You know whether they're a rapist or they've got a criminal record, or you actually know which country they come from. Because I'm not having a go at you, mate. You don't know. But you're playing, and I've said it a million times before, you're playing Russian roulette. Roulette. With our wives, our daughters, our sisters, our children. You're despicable, Starmer. Because it ain't going to be your daughter getting raped, is it? With this full lot of security you got around you. Sorry, I've lost it a bit. So who would you rather have, Starmer or Trump? I think it's pretty obvious. The majority seem to be going for Trump. Mick Frinton on C says, I agree with Trump 100%. Ed Davey today said that Farage will change the gun laws and there'll be shootings in our schools. What is he drinking at his conference? Alcohol, green tea. That's a good point, Mick. I tell you, I didn't feel sorry for him. I laughed. He's making his speech down in Bournemouth. Suddenly, Trump walks into the UN, Clint Eastwood style, right? Lock, stock, and barrel. Loaded, right? Who gave a shit about what Ed Davey had to say today? About anything? Nobody. I bet you most of the conference were on their phone watching Trump so they can get outraged later. He's a fascist. He's this, he's that. He's got jobs coming back to America. He's got the economy booming. He's got the borders secure. He's sorted out the crime in Washington in 10 days. Now he's going to sort out Chicago and New York. What is there not to like about the Donald? BBC. Oh, no. It's because he's not one of them. That's what do you mean? No, one of them. Part of the establishment. Well, he is. That's the other thing. He's loaded. But he speaks the language of the people. BBC Verify has already been proven to be inaccurate on a number of subjects, says Jim Garfield. You're right. They've had to apologise on more than one occasion when challenged. Exactly, Jim. But it didn't stop the BBC on the 6 o'clock news wheeling out their liberal to say it was all bullshit. I just find it amazing that the BBC take our money and think they can do... Well, they don't take mine. I haven't got one. But they think they can do that. I think it's disgusting. I think it's totally wrong. And, you know, that's what I was saying to you about that Emily Maitlis, who I know. Work with her. And that John Sopel, who I know as well. I can't bear him. But they sit there as if they're the view, they're the voice of the country. Sneering about the flag or sneering about the politics. How have they got such a big audience? There can't be that many uber liberals in the country, can they? They're earning mega bucks, more money than when they're in the BBC. And here's me struggling, asking you to give a donation of £5 and getting none so far today. I'm pulling your leg. Help. Well, I'm not pulling your leg. No one's offered, but thank you. He's quiet, Starmer, because he's cooking up something even worse, says Dark Angel. Oh, Dark Angel, don't depress me. But you might be right. Evening, John. The sentence of the Ethiopian is a bloody joke. 12 months. He'll be out in 6. No, wait for me to tell you about this. What happens when he gets out, knowing our system? He'll do it again. Be let out and do it again. Unless they ship this vile man home. Well, 2 things there. He wants to be deported, evidently. But secondly, he won't do 12 months. 12 months is the maximum sentence for that offence, which is a joke. The sentencing guidelines are decided by a bunch of, I would imagine, tofu burger eating, open-toed sandal Burks who go, well, let's get Sardinia and go skinny dipping. Have you got a copy of The Guardian? Yes, I've organised that. No problem. Oh, marvellous. Let's stay in an Airbnb, not a hotel, because we don't want to be near the plebs. One of those sort of people. They make up the guidelines, right? So 12 months was the maximum, but he will only do 4.5 months. But he's been on remand, so they'll take that into account. So he'll probably be out in 3. I say out and straight to the Knackers yard or the airport. What do you say? John, you talk total sense. Well, I'll try. Be good if you did it once. Starmer is not a spy. That's just Mick in front of the sea. He's the son of a toolmaker. Or is he just a tool? Thank you very much indeed. 44 likes. I'm doing something right. You're obviously enjoying it. Don't forget, if you want to help support the podcast and the videos, it's very simple to do. Just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt and donate anything from £5 upwards. Or you can just click that little $sign on the bottom of the screen here, and then you can donate there. Oh, thank you for saying your haircut looks good, John. See that? Look at that. Had that done today. I was very, very pleased with it. And it was the classic Turkish barber, although the guy said he was a Kurd. Every time I've driven past there, the place has been heaving. But today it was like the Marie Celeste. I said, oh, you're not very busy. Oh, no, never busy on a Tuesday. I went, oh, okay, never mind. Are you good at cutting hair? He said, yeah. He said, what do you want? So anyway, he did it. I think he's done a really good job. 20 quid. I thought that was pretty good value. especially because I was beginning to look like giant haystacks. I don't think Starmer went because Trump would have had him, John. Well, I think you're absolutely right, Steve. Thank you very much for your opinion. I tell you what, I've been going too fast tonight. I'm knackered now. Where am I? Hold on a minute. Susan Scholes, if you come to our country, live within our laws or get out. You're right. You're right. Why does that say Susan Scales, but it's from Frank Green? I don't understand that. Anyway, fair enough. Yes, a payment of up to $3,000 is available for certain migrants and failed asylum seekers who choose to leave the UK voluntarily. The scheme is not a fee to be deported, but rather a financial incentive for voluntary departure. Here are the key details about the $3,000 voluntary departure payment, but I don't think it will apply to that scum. Oh, is that why he's saying I want to be deported? He might be onto something. I don't know. Cheeky bastard if he is. Hey, sorry, excuse my language. But it's getting a bit like that, isn't it? Losing the rag. I've certainly lost my hair today. My mother-in-law thought I looked really good. And I said, oh, thanks. And she's complimenting. And then she says, do you know one of your ears is lower than the other? No, I said, yeah, is it? Oh, and so now I'm paranoid. I'm looking at myself now on the screen thinking, anyway, I think it looks good. I think he's done a damn good job. He's been here 7 years. He's a Kurd. And I said, oh, so where are you from then? Which part? Because Kurds can come from Syria. They can come from Turkey. They can come from where he's from, Iraq. I said, so anyway, he started to cut me out. I said, so you don't want to go back to Iraq? He says, no, no. That's his exact words. And I admired him. And he's running a business. And I think it's a legit business because, as I say, it's normally busy. And good luck to him. Good luck to him. Paul, hi, John. Starmer is out of his depth. When are the rest of the Labour MPs going to do something about it? Never. Because it's called the Self-Preservation Society, isn't it? It's just typical. Chris, what's this one? Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Chris, curse 10. £10. What's the £10? Oh, have you put £10 in the pot? Thank you very much indeed. I also wish they would ban halal slaughter. I agree with that as well. 200 hours of CCTV from Warwickshire shows sheep being dismembered alive and in front of other sheep. The Nuneaton MP raised a concern in Parliament about this. Yeah, I know about this. My mate, I won't identify him just in case he gets in trouble. He lives in that area. And he tipped me off about this ages ago and said, it used to be a small little abattoir. And he said, now there's articulated lorries going in there. And he said, it's all halal. And then it was exposed, some of the stuff that just... But then again, I have seen programs of terrible cruelty in abattoirs, which are also not halal. So I don't know how anyone can be horrible to, to an animal like that. I mean, okay, we're killing it and we're going to eat it, but dignity, for God's sake. Craig Urquhart says, I copied that from Google, so it's not a reliable source. Laugh out loud. That's you going to get banned soon, mate. Google will ban you. Bob Lee Bob. Whilst Western media constantly paint Palestinians and Putin as the villains, my head's already hurting. Let's not ignore NATO's own record. Since the 90s, NATO has intervened in and flattened multiple countries. Yugoslavia, 1999. NATO bombed Belgrade without UN approval, killing civilians in the name of humanitarian intervention. Afghanistan, 2001 to 2021, a 20-year war launched after 9/11 that left hundreds of thousands dead and the country in ruins. Iraq, 2003, led by the US-UK coalition, invaded on false WMD. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for giving a bit of balance in the programme. You daft lefty. Frank Green, Craig Urquhart. He should get no money. Just get out. He won't get any money. Don't worry about that. How can I say that? The difference is this stupid Starmer is a communist and Mr. Trump is an intelligent patriot, says Mohunda Samaraskia. I hope I pronounced your name wrong. Right. So thank you for that. Annette Locke, I know exactly what I'd say to him, given half the chance. And there'll be no jail sentence. Thank you. I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of you, Annette. Thank you for your comments. Still taking some more comments if you want to get involved. I bet he'll understand English if he drops the soap in prison. Just joking, John, says Steve. Yeah, okay, Steve. Mohunda, the guy who's just on, says, vote UK, get this Starmer out. Yeah, okay, that's your opinion. Don't forget, I don't like the show being used just for promoting one party. But anyway, I fear for the future of the UK. I think this is a plan to flood our country with these people. Well, I think they haven't done enough to stop it. Not just Starmer. I don't think any of the establishment politicians, they wanted cheap labour all those years ago, and I think they still want it. I've got to be honest. Because it isn't hard, is it, to stop? It really isn't hard. David Marks, sorry. John, I don't understand Lammy. How is he the Deputy Prime Minister, but they're having a vote for the Deputy Prime Minister? So is Lammy Deputy Prime Minister? Yeah, you're getting mixed up, friend. He's the Deputy Prime Minister, but what they're voting for now is for who wants to be the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party. Now, Angela Rayner fulfilled both roles, but they're not necessarily always linked. And that's why there's a fight at the moment, because which one is it? It's the education woman, isn't it? Cruella de Vil. It's her. She wants to be it. And then there's that other dopey bird who he sacked. That's your choice. Big out, shush, John. Anyway, Seaside Mark, Trump's words of warning this afternoon to Europe is their last wake-up call. His warning will age well, as I don't believe European countries will bin the green agenda or secure their borders. No, it felt like that to me as well. It felt like that to me. He's getting to the end of his tether, isn't he? Because also, imagine you live in the Midwest, right? You've never left America, which is the kind of stereotype the liberals used to like to use. You know, Americans are thick because they never left America. Well, if you're American and you live in America, you could live your whole life and not leave, because you could see every culture, every landscape, every climate, all on one continent. But anyway, we'll put that to one side. But that's what they say. But if, say, you're in the Midwest, I don't know, you work in a car factory, or you did work in a car factory, or you worked in the steel factory in Pittsburgh before they closed Pennsylvania, before they closed them all down. How pissed off would you be that you're having to pay for our security, effectively, that you're paying more? This is where Trump came in and said, you've got to pay a fair share, NATO and the European countries. And he's right. And they don't like it. They don't like it. And then people like Starmer, oh, I'm going to have a war with Russia. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Putin? And then he's going to have a go for Zelensky. And then it's just nonsense. And like with Israel and Palestine and Hamas, what right did he have to say when 9 out of 10 people, 90% of this country, might support the idea of stopping the war in Palestine, but they don't support the Palestinians, and they certainly don't support Hamas, a terrorist organization. But he's throwing money at them like confetti. Trump wiped the floor with a lot of them. I couldn't stop laughing. He even spoke about the London worm. Yeah, that bit was brilliant. When he spoke about Khan at the end. If you've not heard this, or you didn't watch it today, you've got to take time tonight. It'll be all over YouTube, be all over the media. He was just brilliant. Just brilliant. Well, I've got to finish in a minute. I do apologise. Warwick Milne, we can't keep paying everybody else to do everything for us. Dig our own coal, drill our own oil and gas, grow our own food. All we've got is an army of civil servants, bedwetters, and people who are knobbing the system. I like that, Warwick. Spot on the money. Annette, we still remember the post office scandal. He must think we've forgotten about that. Well, there's that still going on. There's loads of things like that going on at the moment where they haven't solved the problem. To be fair, the post office scandal was also the Tories. That's why when a Tory comes on and starts slagging them off, I just start laughing as well. They're all part of the same problem. Starmer should take a leaf out of his book, but no, this winker will never stop pandering to Muslims. That's your opinion, Anthony. Thank you. Maggie Young, enough now. Trump is warning us. It's now getting really serious. Maggie, you are spot on the money. He was clearly saying, I ain't putting up with much more of this. And imagine if he did suddenly say, no, I'm not going to give you the military hardware. It'd be right stuffed, wouldn't we? Orange King God Emperor is amazing. Yeah, I nearly called this this podcast tonight. I was going to call it Trump is World King, or King of the World. But in the end, I went for Trump nukes the UN. But I don't know. I just thought he was inspirational, personally. But you might think I'm an idiot for thinking that. Brent Moritz, 3 million march in London, but the BBC says only 100,000. 3-tier, don't use that word, please. The next word beginning with Q. No beer Starmer needs to go and take those Labour lefties with him. Because I don't care what his sexuality is. And I don't like the use of that word, please, if you don't mind. If you want to say it in your own company, you go and do it. But please don't say it on here. Thank you, John, for another awesome live stream. Keep up your fantastic work and take care, says Craig. Thank you for that. What's this one? I don't understand this. We the sheep in the UK. Then it says IRA can't win. What's that say? UK doomed. It's coming. We all know it. Well, I don't share your depression, but fair enough. Thank you for sharing your thoughts tonight. Well, that's it. We've run out of time. I've got to go. I've got things to do tonight. If you want to donate some money to keep the podcast going, and don't forget tonight, Tuesday nights are always cut-off night for Buy Me a Coffee. So they do the accounting after the end of tonight. So if you want to help me out and give me some cash for the next week, you need to do it today. If you're thinking of donating, do it today if you could. It would really help me. And please. And then also, if you want to do the thing on YouTube, that's great. It's a little padlock, the little dollar sign. But the best thing you can do, and you keep doing it, and thank you, and it costs no money, this. Please subscribe to Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. We're nearly at 5,000. I want to get it to 10,000 subscribers. So we've got some work to do. But I think we'll get to 5,000 by the end of the weekend. Thank you. Tell all your mates. Subscribe. The more subscriptions we've got, and it costs nothing, the algorithm likes it better. And the algorithm, yesterday's show, it was slow. I'll tell you that one, in terms of the downloads last night. And now it's gone through the bloody roof because the algorithm knows where to put it. So thank you for that. If you want to retweet the stream, feel free to do that. If you want to send links out, feel free. But get your friends listening as well. Thank you very, very much indeed. I couldn't have done this without you, I'm being honest. Just as Pipsqueak wants to tell us that the rape gangs don't operate in London, he also wants us to believe that Sharia law courts are out of the question. Such courts already operate here in Leicester. They do, Jim. They operate in London as well. He's a liar. One good thing, when Trump steps down, we have the ever-brilliant J.D. Vance to come. Who was I talking to about him the other day? I think Vance will be brilliant. As you know, I've read his book, and I before he became really famous in this side of the pond. And did you see GB News, their new program from America last night? I only saw 10 minutes. I fell asleep. I keep falling asleep. I watch it on my phone, and I suddenly hear clunk, and I've dropped my Moby. So anyway, but it looked good to me. So, and finally, here she is, Maggie Young, saying, loads of claps, thank you very much, and a blue heart because she is a Sky Blue fan. And she says, we need to beat the Brummies on Saturday. Oh, we're going to tan their arses, Maggie. Don't worry about that. We'll have them running home. Oh, Mummy, it's not fair. They beat us. Coventry City beat the Brummies. I shouldn't be like that, really, because out of all the clubs in that area, I like Birmingham the most. I don't mind Birmingham. I've lived there for quite a lot of time. Whereas if it was the Villa, I see they're doing dreadfully. What a shame. What a shame. Like, share, subscribe, says Chris. Curse 10. You've got the right idea. I've read his book, John. It's brilliant. Whose? Oh, you mean J.D. Vance? Yeah. Hillbilly Elegy, it's called, isn't it? And my internet is rubbish tonight, Gaunty. Looks and sounds like Max Headroom. Oh, well. Listen to it later. Once it's uploaded, you'll find it easier. Okay, that's me done. Right. I'll see you tomorrow then. Same place, same time, 6:30. Thanks for all your contributions financially and spiritually and your support and all the rest of it. It's happening. I was going to say the radio revolution is happening, but it's not radio, is it? It's kind of telly and it's kind of internet and it's good. 47 likes. That is superb, and loads of people watching. So thank you very much indeed. If you've got kids, don't forget, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, 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 don't forget to tell them you love them. See you tomorrow. All the best.